Hi there, Zach from Splash here. Today I'm going to walk you through how to create, design, and market an event with your free Splash account. If you want to work along with me, just create an account from our homepage. It takes less than a minute. Okay, let's get into it. I'm on the login screen. I'm going to log into my Splash account now to create my event. First screen you'll see here is the events overview screen. This is where you access previously created events or create new ones. I'm going to hit the new event button to get started. I'm going to be hosting a customer mixer in San Francisco, September 21 through the 23rd. It will have a virtual and in-person component. So I'm going to tell Splash some of those details here. I'll enter my title. This is going to create a URL that I could use to promote my event. If I'm using a paid Splash account, I'm able to use a vanity domain instead of a Splash one. For my event type, I'm going to select happy hours. Now, while this event will have a virtual component, I'm going to enter a physical address. Now I'll update my date and time. And then I can move on to the next step, which is to choose my theme. Quick note, you can see there's a Connect to Salesforce button at the top of the screen. With a paid Splash account, there are a bunch of different integrations I could use to connect my event data to my CRM or marketing automation platform. Today, I'll be creating the event without an integration. Next, I get to choose my event theme. There are lots of different options here, but this one, named Dream, looks perfect for the type of field marketing event that I'm going to be hosting. Now my event is created and I'm on the event overview screen. In the center, I'm able to open and edit all of my guest-facing touchpoints, including the registration page. To the left is where I access important tools like my guest list, email sender, analytics, and event settings. As a best practice, I like to go into settings first and validate that all of my information is correct, and then I have the right registration settings in place. As a best practice again, I like to update my host name to my brand name because this will show up in my calendar invites. Save my changes up top. Speaking of calendar invites, I can go into site metadata and update my calendar attachment description. This is where I'm going to enter the virtual event details for days 1 through 3. So folks who are joining virtually instead of in person have this information on their calendar. Now I'm going to edit my event page design. So I start by clicking into my event page touchpoint. If I give the page a quick scroll, you can see there's lots of great content that I could use to make my event stand out and to communicate all of the necessary event details. Before I do that though, I want to get some of my branding there. So I'm going to click into the theme area and update my colors and fonts. With our free product, you can update your event's color set and choose from a variety of font options. A paid Splash account comes with more design flexibility. You could have unlimited colors and even upload your brand's custom fonts. Plus, you can have your page be automatically branded by preloading your assets into a tool called the Brand Library. Okay, to update the color scheme here, all I need are my colors hex values for my brand. So I hit edit color set. I'm going to click into this blue and trade it out with my first shade of green. And then I will do the same for the second swatch of blue and swapping that out for my second shade of green. And you can see when you enter those codes, the colors on the page transform right before your eyes everywhere. Next up, I want to get my logo in there. So as with any image in Splash, I just click on the placeholder image and I can upload a logo right from my computer. All I need is a PNG or a JPEG and it swaps right in real nicely. I'm going to get some more imagery in there. So let me start with this top image in the cover area. I'm going to start by just toning down this color mask ever so slightly. And then I'm going to click to change the image. So I could upload a photo right from my computer. I could also search the stock image library. Just like so, find something I really like, drop that in, it's looking awesome. Scrolling on down, anywhere that I see an image the same concept exists. Just click and upload. Moving on to my speakers now. I'm coming to my speakers section. You can see I have a couple of default speakers here. I can add another one if I need to. These can be dragged and dropped into place very easily. And then I could just click on my speaker headshot and grab a headshot right from my computer. That looks great. Another quick lesson, all text, every piece of text you see on the page is just click to edit. And if I want to adjust the styles, like the size and color for any reason, I just do so in the right-hand sidebar here. Now let's have a little more fun with this block. So I'm just gonna click on this block's background, come to the background area. I'm gonna change this up to black. And then what you're gonna see here, to make this pop a little bit, I'm gonna click on my speaker names and change that to green. And you can see in doing so, it doesn't just look great, it does it for all speakers within the sequence. Okay, now I think we're gonna add a bit more content to the page, and we're gonna do this by opening up our block library. To do this, I'm just gonna scroll on down and find where I'd like to add my new content, and then I'm gonna hit the square plus button, which actually opens our block library. It's in here that I could browse by different content sections. For today, I just wanna add an inspirational quote, so I will choose one from the quote category, and that drops it right in. Now to edit this, I'm just going to use the same principles we learned earlier. I'm going to change the background color to black, and then I'll change the text color to white. Now if for some reason I just don't need this block or I'm not ready to edit it, no problem. I just mouse over it, hit the hide button, and now it's gone. And you'll see here within my layout tab, I'll see it hidden, so I can always reveal it again later if I want it. All right, so I think everything's looking really good. I would finalize the content just by using those very simple principles that we went over today. Before I'm done, I would just save my changes up top. I would toggle through my tablet view and my mobile view just to make sure everything is perfect. And I could of course use the preview button if I want to preview this from the guest's perspective. Easy, right? So using our free product, there is a lot of customization that you're able to do using some really simple tools. Of course, with the paid version, there is a lot more flexibility in terms of branding and advanced editing tools for transforming space and structure of the page in a more substantial fashion. Okay, let's navigate back and get started on the next task. What I'm going to do next is make some quick adjustments to our registration form. I'm going to open that up. You can see this form comes with company name and job title. Fantastic. I'm just going to add one more question to this, asking people how they plan to join, in person, virtual, or not sure. And I'm going to select a drop-down question, add that to my form, pop in the question, type in my options, and then I'm going to make it required before saving my changes. Super simple. So with the paid version of Splash, you can use conditional logic to set up different question tracks. But for this event, collecting company name, job title, and how the guest will be joining should be sufficient. Next up, I'm going to pop into my confirmations. Every Splash event comes with an on-page confirmation message and an email confirmation message. You can edit all of the copy here. So for this event, I actually just want to include some of the virtual details as well. That's going to be in the calendar invite, but I think it's a good idea to also put it into the confirmation message. Now I just save my changes, and I can of course test this out to make sure it's looking great before I move forward. So at this point, my event's in really good shape. I've configured the settings and calendar invite, I designed the event page content, I added questions to my registration form, and I customized my confirmation messaging. Next, I want to submit a test registration to my event to validate the guest experience. It's the best way to test. It's looking good, so now I can head into my email tab and start working on the email invitation. Once I'm in the email tab, I'm going to hit start creating, and I'm going to select my invitation template. So up top, you have the ability to control your from field, subject line, and inbox preview text. Down below is where you can actually adjust the content and design of the email body. Now, worth noting, wherever you see these bracketed fields, we call these dynamic tags or personalization tags. Splash will insert information into those for you based on information you entered earlier. Those will populate when you send yourself a test email. In terms of editing the design, it's the exact same principles we learned earlier, where you can click to type and then click to change out your imagery. So if I want to switch out this header, just as we learned before, we could search that stock image library, drop a beautiful image in there, and we're looking good. So before we move on, I do recommend sending yourself multiple tests. You could send as many tests as you'd like, just to validate that everything is looking good in your email, including the subject line, the formatting, and all of the copy. I'm going to save my changes, and now I'm going to move to the next step, which is to upload recipients. Now, there's a bunch of different ways to add recipients to your email, one by one, from previous events, etc. But of course, the most efficient way is going to be by uploading a spreadsheet. So to format your spreadsheet, it's super simple. All you need is first name, last name, and email as labeled columns. You could add additional fields like company and job title, but that's completely optional. Once you have your spreadsheet looking good, you would just download it into a CSV file format. And then you would head over to the upload area, choose your file, and let it fly. Before we send out the invitation, it's important to note that you have to be approved by the Splash support team first. Don't worry, it's a quick process. This is to make sure nobody is using the platform for spam purposes. Also, your Splash event will come with 50 email credits, but you could buy more right from this screen. With the paid platform, you get an unlimited number of credits. Okay, so from here, it's one last opportunity to review everything before sending. Then I just hit the send button and fire it off. So let's jump ahead to the moments after your email is sent. What you're going to do, if you're like me, is you're going to be eager to go into your guest list. What you'll see here is every single person you invited with a corresponding status. So you could see at this point, 13 people have registered and they have a status of attending. Whereas 21 folks, I'm still waiting to hear from. In the center of your screen, you'll see everybody's name, email, and all of their answers to your registration questions. At any time, if it's helpful, you could filter your list by your various fields or even export this list to a spreadsheet. And that's kind of it. As you can see, creating, designing, and marketing an event in Splash is easy. And there's lots you could do with a free account. If you're running an event program that needs advanced design capabilities, unlimited email sending and analytics, and integrated event data, then I recommend you reach out to us so we can find a plan that's right for you. Until next time, this is Zach from Splash saying mahalo.